Everyone wants to be rich, but no one wants to wait. They all say they believe in compounding, but most people quit long before it starts working. Impatience, not bad investments, not inflation, not bad luck is what destroys wealth. The truth is, the market doesn't punish the dumb. It punishes the impatient. You see it everywhere. People jumping from one stock to another, one crypto to the next, one side hustle after another. They call it diversifying. But in reality, it's just restlessness, the fear of standing still. We live in an age where everyone measures progress by speed, fast money, quick flips, instant success. But wealth doesn't move on Wi-Fi speed, it moves at the speed of time. And time doesn't care about your feelings. Building real wealth is like planting an oak tree. For years, it looks like nothing's happening. And then, one day, suddenly, it's casting shade for generations. Most people never stay long enough to see that day. I once met a man who told me he'd been investing for 10 years but hadn't made any money. He said, "The market doesn't work anymore." I asked him, "How many times did you change your strategy in those 10 years? He said, "Every time something stopped working, there it was." He didn't have a 10-year strategy. He had 10 one-year experiments. He kept digging up his seeds before they could take root. He wasn't investing, he was chasing noise. The market isn't meant to reward people who can predict the next quarter. It rewards those who can sit through the next decade. Impatience disguises itself as intelligence. It tells you you're adapting, pivoting, optimizing. This is it. But the truth is, most people are just addicted to motion. They think movement equals progress. It doesn't. The best investors understand something most people never will. The more decisions you make, the more mistakes you make. Great wealth isn't built by constant change, it's built by long, boring consistency. Patience feels like doing nothing, but it's actually doing everything right. When you hold a good investment, the hardest part isn't buying it. The hardest part is leaving it alone. Every day your emotions will whisper, "You could make more elsewhere. Maybe it's time to switch." That voice is impatience and it's expensive. The math of wealth is simple. If you save, invest, and stay invested, you win. If you jump in and out, you lose. But the psychology of wealth, that's the hard part. Because your brain hates waiting. It craves excitement, novelty, and validation. That's why people trade. That's why they check their portfolios every morning. They want proof that it's working. But here's the paradox. The more you check, the worse your decisions become. If you look at your investments daily, you'll think in days. If you look monthly, you'll think in months. If you look yearly, you'll think in decades. And that's where the real compounding happens, in decades, not days. The impatient investor wants results this year. The patient investor wants results forever. The impatient investor chases high returns. The patient investor chases time in the market. The impatient investor asks, "How much can I make this month?" The patient investor asks, "How long can I stay in the game?" One plays to look rich. The other plays to stay rich. Here's the part no one tells you. Patience isn't just a virtue, it's a competitive advantage. Everyone can read financial statements. Everyone can Google best stocks to buy. But almost no one can sit quietly for years while their money compounds. The world rewards those who can endure boredom. Because compounding doesn't look impressive. It looks slow, repetitive, uneventful. Until one day, it looks miraculous. You wake up, and suddenly your portfolio is doing the heavy lifting. But only because you didn't interrupt the process. Think about Warren Buffett. He made over 90% of his wealth after the age of 60. Same strategy, same principles, just time. Now ask yourself, if it takes the greatest investor in the world half a century to fully realize compounding, what makes you think you'll get there in 5 years? Wealth is built slowly so that it stays. Anything gained too quickly leaves just as fast. Lottery winners, meme stock traders, and overnight millionaires all share one thing in common. They skip the part where patience teaches you how to hold on. Impatience is just fear wearing a clever disguise. Fear that you're missing out. Fear that you're behind. Fear that someone else is doing better. But wealth doesn't care who started first. It cares who finishes last. The man who saves and invests quietly for 30 years will always beat the one chasing every new opportunity for 30 months. Because the impatient investor keeps starting over, and compounding resets every time you do. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Money grows at the speed of trust, and you have to trust time. Don't interrupt compounding because you got bored. Don't dig up the seed because you can't see the roots. Everything great in finance and in life comes from the willingness to wait. Patience doesn't just make you wealthy, it makes you free. Because when you learn to wait, nothing can control you, not fear, not greed, not envy. Wealth built patiently is wealth that stays, and that's the only kind worth building.